Hello, we're at Banijay Arts Centre, where artists are gearing up for the ultimate challenge. Ancient Roman competitors would risk death in the arena for fame and glory. True, ours look a little less scary and they're only wielding the odd palette knife, but there are some serious reputations at stake. Who needs gladiators and daggers? It's the final of Portrait Artist of the Year. Throughout this series, we've seen 72 artists face an amazing cast of sitters.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, guys.
How would you like us to address you today?
My name is Trevor.
And compete to paint their best portrait.
It looks quite monstrous.
You've captured my inner self then, James.
In just 4 hours.
Am I nervous? Can you tell?
After 8 artists gave it their all at the semi-final, the judges found their finalists.
These look great, these three.
I know.
These three do look good.
Kofi Ferris.
You feel the tension in the air, but family and friends have been, really supportive, so I'm going to have to do it for them.
Curtis Holder.
Now I'm in the final, my drive is to push what I can do artistically within the time frame and do it well.
And Sally Ward.
To win this whole competition would be life-changing, but obviously there are 2 other very talented artists today. I just hope I can do my best.
Today's winner will follow in a tradition that has seen our artists painting world-renowned figures for some of the most prestigious institutions, from the National Galleries of Scotland, Ireland and Wales to Liverpool's Walker Art Gallery and the Royal Albert Hall.
I love it. I truly love it.
Today, there's yet another spectacular prize at stake. A £10,000 commission to paint international ballet star and choreographer Carlos Acosta for the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery. So now they're within touching distance. Who will it be? The winner of Portrait Artist of the Year is... The artists have returned to Banijay Arts Centre to create their final portrait.
Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. I can't think who it will be.
Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
The set today is highly dramatic. It's a little bit disco or sci-fi. Both of those I'm good with.
I'm really glad to have all the artists here today because we have a really, really special sitter. We've got quite a spectacular set and they are so close to winning this massive commission, this big prize. And I think any of these artists would be a really worthy winner.
I still can't quite believe that I'm one of only 3 artists painting today. I'm still waiting for someone to pinch me and wake me up from the dream.
So after a very long and tough journey, we've got 3 absolutely amazing artists, but we've got also 3 very different personalities. And I think they all want to win this, but their personalities are so counter to that. It's going to be an interesting day.
I think the tension is inside more so than amongst the artists. But at the same time, the atmosphere in the hall is, you know you're in the finals, yeah.
It's a very different feeling in the room today. This is the height of the competition, so they need to really raise their game and also give us something new and something fresh. That's what I want from today.
Sally, Curtis and Kofi, welcome to the final. Congratulations on making it this far.
Thank you.
Your sitter today is one of the most celebrated comedians of her generation, an award-winning actor, a writer, a political activist, as well as being a tireless advocate for charity. If you think painting a portrait in 4 hours is tough, try running 29 marathons in 29 days.
Wow.
Please welcome the resplendent and resilient Eddie Izzard. Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, it's your home.
Yes.
For 4 hours.
This is going to be the hardest thing for me, sitting still. Not easy.
Yeah, you got up 29 days in a row and ran a marathon every day.
Well, yes, it's easier to get up and run marathons than it is not to. Yes, if you ever want to do marathons, the more you do, the easier it gets. That's the weird thing.
No, but there must be a harder before it gets easier.
Yes, the first 10 are crap.
So is it a novel experience for you, having a portrait painted?
Well, some people have offered me, and I just thought, isn't this just my ego? But I sort of wanted to do this because I thought, you guys are up and coming, and I salute all creativity.
Yeah, I mean, they are three very fine artists, so you are in very good hands today.
Wow, yes.
Artists, how would you like Eddie to sit today?
Find something that's going to be comfortable.
Yeah. If I did this, is this all right?
That's
Everyone
perfect.
happy with that?
I could fall asleep.
Do you want us to leave you or just come in and...
Play a klaxon. Some wild noise that wakes me up.
OK. Artists, as a famous painter once said, do your preparation, do your cutting in first, always rinse your rollers thoroughly. Actually, he may have been a painter and decorator. Either way, good luck. I wish you all well. You have 4 hours, and your time starts now.
Wow.
Eddie, would you mind if I came and took some photographs of you?
Oh, yeah, no, help yourself on the photo front. Can I talk to myself?
Yeah.
In a kind of mad way.
Thanks, Eddie.
Now, you guys, if I'm in your way, just let me know. I like to come up a little bit close and do a little bit of drawing. It's kind of like a warm-up.
I'm really delighted about the sitter, Eddie. I've known of her for many, many years. Really interesting character, so I'm really delighted.
Now I've got Eddie here, there's less stress because I'm doing the stuff that makes me feel comfortable. And you could not really ask for anyone more interesting.
Kofi, I can see you raring to go. We've had to peel you away from the easel.
You know, when you feel that kind of electricity, I think with Eddie, something's going on, and seeing clearly what the image should look like.
You don't see the finished painting, but you see what it feels like, or?
No, I've seen the finished painting.
You can, blimey, Kofi, OK.
So
I rarely meet artists who can do that, visualise that strongly.
Professional artist Kofi Ferris painted Don Letts at the Heat and impressed the judges with his use of colour.
He introduced the right colour to the hat and he didn't put the blue in the background. He's making some very sophisticated choices.
Knowing how far to incorporate his wooden canvas into his semi-final portrait of novelist Bernardine Evaristo, he demonstrated his skill at producing a coherent and harmonious portrait.
I love the way that he's able to use this board almost as a sort of evocatively as he uses the paint. I think it's a beautiful marriage.
You're working on board again?
Yes. So at the moment, I'm just going to construct a figure onto the board and initial washes for the face.
Now, you use quite a restricted palette. Today, you started with quite a conventional skin tone. Will stronger colours come in later?
I really like the red. I'm excited about placing the black on. I can see it already.
Well, look, I can't wait to see what's in your mind.
In my mind, yeah, me too.
I've gridded up. That helps me just establish the composition. And now I'm doing underpainting. I want to sort of be quite happy that I've caught some of the likeness. Obviously, that will develop through the day, but a sort of good under-sketch is really important.
An amateur artist from London, Sally Ward's painting of TV presenter and model Melanie Sykes won the judges over with her clever use of scale.
I'm an absolute sucker for this little square. It just really pulls me in.
The likeness might not totally be there, but I'm in love with this woman today.
Despite struggling to find a likeness in the Heat, she progressed through the semi-final with a successful portrayal of Bernardine Evaristo.
She was set out today to prove that she could also get a good likeness, and I think that's what she's given us. Sally, it's so exciting. You're all squared up.
I know.
Got a sitter.
I know.
Was it quite easy to decide on the pose?
I've chosen a composition which will focus on mainly her head, but the outfit is fantastic. So I want to sort of get some of the character of what she's wearing in with the sort of glimpse of the dress.
Are you thinking about Eddie and what you've seen and what you
Yeah.
know, or is it really just the mechanical action of painting?
Obviously, the mechanical bit of sort of gridding up is about sort of getting the drawing right. But for me, I think perhaps the fact that I know her face very well will make me much more conscious about needing to nail the likeness.
So you're having to bring all your pre-knowledge with you?
Yes.
Well, it's good that we know so much about
Yes.
her already, and a good, strong start.
Thank you.
While most artists spend their first hour concerned with things like composition or the underpainting, as usual, the priority for Curtis is to make a series of quick sketches while getting to know his sitter.
Eddie, you've told us a little bit about why you've done this. Can you elaborate?
Well, I try to do things that I think are interesting. And this is the first programme I've asked if I could be she and her. It's a little transition period.
How does that feel?
Well, it feels great, because people assume that, oh, well, they just know me from before. But I'm gender fluid. I just want to be based in girl mode from now on.
Well, if it feels right, it's
It
something
just feels very
that-
positive.
And also, life is the stuff, so just keep trying everything.
One life, live it well.
Exactly.
Primary school teacher Curtis Holder won his heat drawing iconic drag queen, the Vivian, and demonstrated an original approach to making portraits.
It's scratchy and it's rough and it's energetic. It's like a little piece of magic.
Having also formed a bond with his semi-final sitter, Bernardine Evaristo, he produced an image that showed consistency in style and process.
He builds up from lots of smaller drawings. It's just all one big art performance.
Curtis, I meet you at a critical moment. The big paper is out, the sketches are down. You've done enough work to start here.
I have. I need to have my little chat. It allows me to connect on some level with the person I'm drawing. Otherwise, it's just a bowl of fruit. And the thing is, she's amazing. She sits there and you just think, I want to draw all of that. I want to draw the background. I want to draw the face. I want to draw the boot. So I'm fighting with what this drawing's going to be about.
Well, I need to let you get on with it. This seems like it's crunch time.
Oh, gosh, there's a lot of
Enjoy,
crunch.
Curtis.
Thank you.
The artists are 1 hour into their final portrait challenge.
It's going well so far. I think I've got a likeness, so good start. I mean, at first heat, I forgot about time. The second heat, I was very much aware of time. Now I'm here, so I'm going to be making sure that I stick to my game plan.
To be honest, I feel strangely like I'm a bit behind at the moment already. It's taking me a bit longer to draw out than I would have liked. So I'm hoping to sort of catch up and get some of the colour in pretty quickly.
I think I know what I'm going to do. Whenever I do a piece, I need to find something that I fall in love with. And do you know what? She has the most amazing eyes. So that's the starting point. Where it goes, I don't know. I have to wait and see. Fingers crossed.
Our finalists have been portraying celebrated comedian, actor and extreme marathon runner Eddie Izzard for just over an hour.
Eddie, can I just ask you about your running? What drove you?
What drove me to start doing it?
Yeah.
There's adventure behind it. I think everyone should and must make life an adventure. It's a more romantic way of looking at life. It's a more exciting way of looking at life.
Absolutely.
Great sitter.
Eddie's fabulous, both in repose and also in action. She's holding her chin quite high. There's a sort of it's regal, a dowager, I think. It's got that sort of air of faded glory. She would hate it if I said that.
You can say that to Eddie, I'm not.
What I think is interesting is what she's decided to wear. it's got a very 80s feel. Maybe I'm showing my age, but I think it works very well with that regal pose, this rather sort of Madonna, desperately seeking Susan look. I think it's all about contrast, and it seems to be working.
And maybe the pink fluorescent tubes are helping, because that's quite Depeche Mode sort of background, isn't it?
Depeche Mode, nice.
Hey.
Yeah.
Even though I was born in 1992, I do remember Depeche Mode.
No, it's a lovely setup, yes.
So, Eddie, I know you're very conscious that you've got these 3 pairs of eyes staring at you, but I want to know what you're making out about your artist. Are you building characters in your head?
No, I'm actually focusing on their artworks on the back wall, because then I can get a sense of the artwork before I see me. Because if you see yourself in the thing, then it's all, oh, I look like this, or oh, I look like this. You get this. The ego.
Are there things that you don't want to see in your portrait of yourself?
Oh, it's just the ego. The ego prefers to be flattered. Napoleon did do this picture of him on the big horse going over the Alps. You know the Napoleon one I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's by David. It's the horse.
It's David?
Yeah.
Is this his name?
Yeah.
Would you want Napoleon just looking good on a horse? If you could, I am doing very well. All right, I'll do you on a big horse. I'll make you 9 foot tall, all right? Yes, that would be very nice for the newspapers. I don't think he looked like that.
But Cromwell said warts and all. He
Yeah, but
wanted.
that was
So you're
Cromwell.
more in the Napoleon camp.
No, I realised the Napoleon thing was just PR. And so what I try and do is I try and present in the best light. If I was Cromwell, I would have said, yeah, show warts and all. Then I'd put the warts back and you go, actually, just...
Big horse, big hat.
Just lose the warts,
Whether they're zooming in on the face or trying to include more of the figure, all 3 artists have become captivated by one particular feature.
Eddie's got amazing blue eyes, so I was really keen to capture them. So I really want to bring those out. They're really piercing.
She's got these great steely blue eyes coming at you, and you've got a very intense look. If I can capture your eyes, I'll be happy.
Straight in with the eyes.
Straight with the eyes.
Well, I say straight in after your preliminary.
Yes.
Sketches.
But that's what decided the eyes.
OK. They are
Guys.
fabulous eyes.
Yeah. I fell in love with them, because that's what the drawing's all about. It's about getting to know and seeing those things that actually I'm drawn to.
Do you see any areas that you think are going to be a challenge?
The eyes.
The eyes.
Three such distinct artists. It's great seeing all of their work on the wall, but then you watch them today, they all just take such a different approach.
Yeah, but it's nice to see that consistency of style. Curtis gets right in there with his little stool. Kofi stands back, thinks long and hard and gently. And then Sally quietly sort of grids up.
She's the most technical, isn't she? She's just sort of dissecting the light, the form. Curtis is very psychological. He's like, how do I get Eddie's spirit on this page? And Kofi, I think, somewhere between.
Yeah, you're making me realise even more how hard it's going to be to judge between them at the end. But thank goodness we've got the commissions.
Oh, make or break those commissions. I hope they're good.
For the finalists' commissions, we asked each artist to create a portrait of someone very close to them. And their individual muses have come today to support them.
My name's Steve. I'm Curtis's partner. We've been together for 17 years. We met when I first moved down to London, and we've been together ever since. Drawing is absolutely key part of his life. Whether we're on the tube or we're at an event or a party, he'll be drawing the people that are there. I can't imagine Curtis not doing art or creative things.
Hello. How's it going? I haven't done very much. I've done a lot of drawings.
I saw that.
But just...
Got your #1 support, say.
I know. Hello, Freddie.
so excited for Curtis that he's got through to the final. I think this has really helped him to start to believe that himself a little bit more. And yeah, I was delighted when Curtis asked me to be in his portrait with Freddie. Basically, he said, you know, me and Freddie are his family, and that's why he wanted us to be the subjects of the portrait.
Kofi also chose to paint a member of his family.
You got here okay?
Yeah, everything's blessed. My name's Emmanuel. I'm actually Kofi's son. I grew up with him. He was my primary carer, I guess, from the age of 3 till now, basically. And we have a very close relationship. It's nice. Since I left home, he turned the entire house into an art studio. He wakes up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and all he does is paint. So technically, he's just so good, and he's also very calm and very mindful about himself as a person and his work. And I think that transcends into what he paints. You comfortable with time? You're not stressing?
No, you know your father.
Never stress.
Never stress.
So throughout my life, there are a few paintings that have happened, but not recently. So when he asked me, I was ecstatic because I knew how excited he was about the process, and I don't see him as often as I used to. So it's been really nice to just have some quality time and leave you to it.
I'm gonna go for it, right? Stay good. All right.
Stay good.
What do you think you might select to do? It's looking amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It is. I'm Yesterday Lily, and I used to be Sally's English teacher. I've known Sally since she was 12. And over the years, Sally and I have kept in contact, and then recently discovered that we were both doing art. So our love of art has brought us back together.
There's a sort of highlight coming down here, which will strengthen that.
I think as a teacher, you tend to be quite impressed with any young person who, in Sally's case, was multi-talented. When Sally asked me to be her sitter, I was overwhelmed, and what you have to understand about Sally is that she doesn't understand how good she is, and this is, for her, such a big validation.
No, just breathe.
Doing justice to someone you know and respect is an added pressure. But it's not just the artists who feel the weight of the commission paintings.
I think a lot of people will think that by the time we get to the final, we have our favourite artists. But we've learnt that we don't back any horse until we see those commissions, because you suddenly see what someone can do on their own terms, in their own time. And that, in a way, reveals what they're really capable of.
Just one of those paintings you think, how on earth did they come up with that?
It's just, it's breathtaking.
I really like the twist on the commissions this year because we're going to get an insight into these artists' lives. And they know that face so well, they know it from every angle. And there's something really intimate about that. And I like lifting the veil and understanding that relationship.
There should be an emotional sort of depth to it that they might not have got if it was a celebrity or somebody famous. But I don't want to see them paint their friends like they did before they joined the competition. I want to see that development and that maturation as an artist. So I want something more, and I can't wait to see what they produce.
I wanted to show a little peek into who we are as a family. So I chose to draw Steve and our dog, Freddie. And I'm looking down, which is a bit of a strange angle, but I thought a more intimate one.
I decided to paint my son Emmanuel, and that was a beautiful thing. The main thing I wanted to achieve was to get a little bit more of the figure in, just a little bit more ambitious to what I could show from the heats.
I really wanted a very graceful portrait of Yesterday. She is an incredibly graceful person with poise and elegance, and so I think through the expression I wanted to capture those elements of her personality.
The completed commissions will be revealed to the judges at the end of today's challenge. But for now, they have just 2 hours left to finish their portrait of Eddie.
Eddie's face is actually much more complicated than it at first seems. I think because she's got such strong features, I think it took me far longer to do the earlier stages of the painting than I would have hoped. I just feel that there's a lot to do.
I'm not panicking at the moment, but I'm feeling a little bit behind. But I'm going to tighten up the face. and then move into the background. Just try and make up some time.
I am feeling the pressure. I've taken on something that I found challenging. I'm now slightly regretting that. But, you know, I felt that this was the right approach. And who knows if it's going to work out.
Our finalists are halfway through their 4-hour challenge, painting acclaimed comedian, writer and activist, Eddie Izzard.
Great eyes.
Thank you very much. I focus in on those, but I'm way behind. How's the timekeeping for you?
Not good. I've seen what I want, but the possibilities of getting there, pretty slim.
Well, it's final day, and a fabulous sitter. There's lots for them to get their teeth into.
Loads to get their teeth into. Great characterful head, obviously a really strong presence as well, so very inspirational.
Let's start with Kofi.
I think what I find problematic in Kofi's approach today is we always like Kofi's sense of colour. And today he's decided to do a rather conventional painting of Eddie. So I'm a bit sort of surprised. I recognise the board and the likeness is great, but I don't feel Kofi.
No, but I disagree. I'm pleased today that he's been able to show us that he can go one step further. What I'm curious to see is how he's going to treat the background. We're in a more realistic territory, so I'm excited. Ignore Ty, it's fine.
OK, good. I love it when you're at odds with each other.
Yeah.
So, Sally's given us several fairly literal paintings so far. Is she doing the same thing today?
I was interested to hear Sally saying she found Eddie's likeness hard to get because she's nailed it as far as I can see. And I think Sally's work is very moving, and at the moment I don't get that, but I think we're knee-deep in the mechanics of building a painting.
I think there's a lot of pathos in her work. You know, I think what I would like her to do is give us a little bit more richness.
So stop me if this is too technical, but Curtis is different from the other two in that the others draw ahead and then fill it in, whereas Curtis starts on details and the thing seems to grow out of these details.
Curtis has typically always given us the head, a sense of the body, and today we just have Eddie's eyes. It's definitely a new take. It's slightly more sophisticated.
Yeah, we expect a lot from our artists today. Each of them are building on the style they've given us already. And obviously, I mean, we know the commissions are coming as well. I think it's why we're quite relaxed at the minute, because we know that the big surprises are coming later on this afternoon.
OK. Don't get too relaxed, it is the final.
It's interesting. I want to challenge myself because I am intimidated by art. And I always trying to train myself, better myself. So something I want to get out of this is the ability to just look and feel without thinking, oh, I'm going to get something wrong, saying, I don't like this. Say, well, everyone else likes it. This is Mona Lisa. I just feel general pressure on it. So that's interesting.
People say, OK, yeah, you know, Kofi, you're calm, but I think with painting, it takes a certain amount of calmness and focus. So, you know, you just get into a zone, and it's kind of difficult to come out of that space.
Sally, you have such a great smile that it always looks like you're relaxed and enjoying yourself. Is that the case?
I'm sort of enjoying myself, but
Right.
I'm also finding it quite tense and stressful.
Tense and stressful because of the occasion or because of what's being produced?
I think just with every portrait, it's like walking a bit of a tightrope to sort of find the person in the painting.
When did you first know you were good at art?
I did love art from a very early age.
Were you a childhood prodigy?
I don't know about that. I did take my art exams quite early.
How early?
I took my GCSE when I was 12.
12?
Yes.
That's just showing off. Hear about people like you. Wunderkids.
Wunderkids, yeah.
No matter how skilled they are at capturing someone's face, how artists tackle the background can dramatically alter their portraits.
So at the moment, I'm wondering how dark I want the background to be. And so I'm just testing out tones on this piece of paper, holding them up and see whether I need to go a bit darker or maybe a bit lighter, and better that now than apply this and then go, oh God, that's so wrong. but I still haven't made a decision yet.
Kofi, you've got the black brush in your hand. I feel like I've caught you midway.
Yeah, you caught me midway.
I'm curious to see if it's going to feel quite filled in or we're going to have a lot of empty space.
I'm going to fill it in more, but I've got to see, you know, once you put this down.
I can see you being quite tentative with it.
Yeah, it's very unforgiving.
But you're a man who doesn't need to put a lot of paint down to tell a good story.
That's the aim with 4 hours.
Yeah.
But I still really want to get a bit more detail in the face.
Do you need to stand back a bit so you can get a sense of what it needs and what it doesn't need?
Well, talking to you and just standing back is just sharpen the eye a little bit.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
OK,
So,
I'm glad to be of help.
Yes.
The artists have less than an hour to go.
I'm just trying to make the final few decisions as to how I'm going to pull everything together. At the moment, it's got an emotional sense that I want. My worry is that I lose it, because if I do, I don't think I'll be able to get it back.
I'm still trying to get what I've got in my head and get it onto the board. So I'm thinking, oh my God, let's see what I can do now is to really try and pull this thing together.
There is a point in a painting where suddenly it just becomes them, and I'm not quite sure I'm there yet. I think the whole thing just needs tightening up, and I just need to bring it to life, really. So no specific concerns, it's more that the whole thing is a bit of a concern.
The artists are reaching the end of their final challenge, painting stand-up comedian Eddie Izzard, who's been sitting down for almost 4 hours.
Your leg is gone?
Yeah, a little bit.
I've got to put it together. It's not quite there. It does need a little oomph. So I want to kind of get in some more pencil work. The detail in the face is just about bringing it to that finish that I want.
Ooh, what's going on? What's with the ruler? And
Right.
on your hands and knees again.
Chopping this drawing down.
So what is the purpose of all this?
Well, because I want it to be quite cinematic.
But is this a common thing for you to actually make this sort of adjustment at this stage?
No, but it's the right thing to do for this.
And this is the make or break cut. This is going to decide whether or not you win.
Oh, thanks for that.
Artists, you have 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
I find it very difficult to be objective at this point in a painting. I just find it really difficult to get distance from it. But I think now it's a case of just enhancing the contrasts where possible. So I feel like I've got loads to do and not much time to do it in.
Artists, your time is up. Your final challenge is over. Please put down your equipment and step away from your portraits. Eddie, at the beginning I felt you were trying to analyse what being a sitter would involve, what should it involve, what you needed to do.
Bloody nightmare.
Did you crack it?
No, I'm not designed for sitting. But I did notice towards the end that all the artists were into their thing and they knew where they were going. They didn't have to check, has he got a chin? Oh, yeah, he's got a chin, you know. So I found I could do anything in the last bit.
OK, so I think the time has come, don't you?
Yes.
Artists, please turn your easels.
Interesting. I'd like to look closer.
Let's do that. Let's look more closely. Sally.
I look like I'm distant, but that is my resting face for 4 hours. You do go to this place, and the eyes kind of amazing.
They're very pretty, those eyes.
Yeah, I'm going with the
Going
eyes.
with that. Thank you, Sally.
Pleasure.
It's great.
Thank you.
Right, Curtis.
I look quite somber there.
Slightly angry? slightly cross. My
I'm a
anger
bit
is probably
pissed off
pushing it.
about the 4 hours.
Yeah, maybe.
Can you take just a photo and I could go and sit in the bath? But I like the way that you do this multicoloured pencil lines.
And finally, Kofi.
I feel that I'm looking a little Angela Merkel in there.
There's a strength, I think, to you.
Yes, I'm definitely the most awake in here. Yes, and I like the body and the shape with it.
Great, Kofi. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Kofi.
No, pleasure.
Right. Are you having to work at deciding which one you like, or is it obvious to you?
I can't get away from the fact that it's me, you know. But I think I'll go with Curtis's.
Curtis, well done.
Thank you.
As well as examining the finished portraits of Eddie Izzard, the judges at last get to see the artist's commissions.
Ooh. Oh, my God.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't expect that. That is...
They've really pushed themselves. It's
They're
so
fabulous.
impressive.
Oh, God.
They don't make it easy.
Should we have
Let's go. I
died-
want to get up close.
So this is Kofi's son. I just think the composition and that sort of energy, the looping of the arms over the knee, it just almost has you sort of spinning around the work, and then you sort of end up at the head.
I mean, it's just open and it's warm and it's inviting. I'm really taken with the way that he's used the white. We've never had that in one of his works before, where the backgrounds come through to the foreground. It's interesting because I wasn't entirely sold on what he did of Eddie today. I didn't think the likeness was as delicate as it could have been. But then, toward the end of the day, he started to use this black in a really intelligent way, and it kind of gave the whole thing a bit more strength.
Yeah, it's funny. I had problems with Kofi's Eddie today because Kofi wasn't giving us the interesting colours he usually plays with. And I now see the painting of his son, and Eddie makes sense. It's a kind of strange key to understanding the way he's dealt with Eddie's face. And you realise, given the time, we would get something as accomplished as that.
I'm relatively happy with what I've done today. And now that I've finished the final, now I'm kind of pondering on, you know, that I could win. So, hey, I was thinking, okay, it's a possibility here.
Curtis's work is strange because I never know whether I need to get really close to it or whether I need to stand really far back. You know, his way of making marks is unusual. I haven't seen anything quite like this before. And both of them are just so loaded with meaning. I mean, I just absolutely feel just this beautiful picture of domestic bliss.
I was worried that Curtis was offering us fragments. I was worried that although the fragments were very strong, that he didn't really know how to give us something more complete. And this answers my question, of course. Given time, he knows when to tighten things up and when he can leave it open.
There's also tenderness and warmth in both the portrait of Curtis's partner here and of Eddie. The intensity of the eyes, they're powerful, they're loaded. His work is so rich. And often I think with drawing, it's reduced in some way. This is full.
I'm really proud of what I've achieved during this competition and how I've pushed myself. And I feel that I can just leave this competition head held high, knowing how to be the artist I want to be.
I mean, again, Sally, sort of a motorway to the emotions. It's interesting that I don't know Sally's teacher at all, but there's just so much love in this painting, but also incredible loneliness and isolation. I think there was a sort of quiet loneliness in all of Sally's paintings, which I thought was incredibly poignant.
I mean, it's that pathos I was talking about earlier. There's a real sense of calm, of dignity, you know, of quiet achievement. I mean, we see it in Sally's portrait of Eddie as well, you know, the same faraway look. And I think she's also been really clever here with the composition. I think having that little shock of Eddie's dress sort of peeking through at the bottom and that pale pink of the neon, it sort of bounces your eye around an otherwise fairly still portrait.
I love the way that she puts paint down. She's almost sculpting them with the paint, getting the planes in. But through the process of doing that, she really does come up with something which has a real energy to it.
Today was another intense experience. It's just been a huge amount of work, so I'm pretty exhausted now. I just have no idea what my chances are of winning. I mean, the other two artists both produced beautiful paintings today. You know, they're all so talented, so I have no idea.
What leaps out at me is because our artists chose people they know well to paint, how tender and how intimate and how warm those commissioned portraits are.
They're all telling their stories in their own very distinct, stylistic ways.
It's just really lovely to just stand and look at these 6 works. I mean, I really like this presentation.
And then, of course, what's interesting is how the competition pressure somehow makes them evolve really quickly. I mean, these 3 commissions are, I would say, streets ahead of the submissions, which were also done under their own steam, you've got to think.
Yeah.
So within a heat, a semi-final, and today, somehow we've created a kind of cauldron within which they have wanted to really show what they could do, and it's produced some phenomenal work.
Well, that cauldron has to produce a winning dumpling. So you need to get to work.
Yeah,
we really
it's
do.
going to be a difficult one today.
Kofi, Curtis and Sally, you've all been fabulous finalists. It's been a real pleasure getting to know you and watching you work. But there is only one prize, and after much deliberation, the judges have made their choice. The winner of Portrait Artist of the Year is... Curtis Holder.
I feel a lot of things. It's quite overwhelming. I am not going to get upset because it is an amazing thing that's happened, but I think I need to be in a dark room for a while because I don't understand how this has happened. It's amazing.
Feeling relieved, it's over, but it was a great experience. You couldn't ask for anything more. I think Curtis' commissioned piece, I think that nailed it. It was a beautiful piece, yeah.
Congratulations, man.
I can't swear.
It's just been such a roller coaster of a day. Curtis is a thoroughly deserving winner. He is just such a talented artist.
Could you be any more shocked?
Oh my goodness, today was really, really difficult. We had 3 really good contenders, but you know what? Curtis is just a little bright, pulsing light. And he brings a freshness, and there's something really new and exciting about what he's producing.
It's gorgeous. Such a new way of tackling things. I love it. It's so special. You know, he's a draftsperson, and we always think of the hierarchy of art history as drawing being lower down, and he just totally elevates it. What he did in his commission was a bit like a Lucian Freud, and it was with pencils. How do you do that?
Well done, well done.
How did that happen?
Curtis, yeah, Curtis. What a genius, man. Curtis does something which I've never seen before, and that is basically it. I want Curtis to grow wings and fly into the art world because I think his work will be lauded and he will be celebrated.
Next time, Curtis takes on his commission to paint international ballet star Carlos Acosta.
Freeze.
Love it.
This is amazing.
Creating his prize portrait for the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery. I can't wait any longer.
Let's do it.